everyone and welcome to a new video. Today's video here on the Daily Vlog channel. By the way, welcome if you haven't been to this channel before. I'm planning to upload to it more again, but I felt like this video was better over here than on the main channel where I do gaming. Anyway, basically, as you can tell from the title, I have sadly been botched. Thank goodness it is hopefully temporary because it's botched via Botox, which is meant to wear off. But if not, I think it can be fixed anyway. So that's the first thing, and I will show you what it looks like in just a sec. But the reason why this has happened is because I went to get masseter Botox to my jaw, which is to stop jaw clenching, because I cracked a tooth from jaw clenching during my sleep, and my dentist said you should go get masseter Botox as an option. I decided not to go to the dentist because I was like, oh, I might go somewhere else just in case they mess it up. So I went to a doctor, a GP, who is also certified in doing Botox, and I went there with 3 recommendations. He had good reviews, you know, it was all official and legit, and he injected the wrong muscle. He's injected my smile muscle, which I think is called the risorius. I don't know how to pronounce that. When it was meant to be the masseter that was injected. And I know that it's the wrong muscle because I can't smile properly now, and my masseter can still clench to the full degree it always has. So the dude missed. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is what I looked like previously when smiling, and this is what I look like now. So I basically have a downturned smile because I can't smile. So in video form, like the more I try and smile, the more stank face I get. So this is me trying to give you guys like a really big smile. And it is so sad not being able to smile. It's very confronting. I'm trying to like laugh and smile. If I do a little one, it kind of gives me this like unsure smile, or like RBF, resting bitch face. And if I try and smile with my lips closed, again, it turns downwards. So yeah, I'm like left like this. And you know, I think if I wasn't going through this experience and someone else was, I would be like, oh, it's temporary, like you can move on from this. It won't be for very long. It's not like it's permanent or anything. But I am shocked about how this has psychologically impacted me. Like at first I thought it was hilarious and sent videos to everyone and like put my face next to Wallace and Gromit, which is funny. It is funny. But then I kind of think I went into a bit of shock as it sunk in that I was going to be stuck like this for maybe 4 to 6 months, and then realizing I am on camera for a living and that I like don't feel comfortable filming like this on camera, except obviously I am for this video. It actually also has a terrible sensation, like it feels like my whole face is being pulled down, and although I don't think it's affecting my speech too much, I can feel, and it does feel a little bit hard to talk. So, and the other thing is, like, I think you can tell a little bit, but the other thing is, I'm only on day 9, and this is gonna take 2 weeks. So another 5 days before it reaches its peak strength. So in other words, it's only gonna get worse before it gets better. And every day it's a little bit harder to talk, it's a little bit harder to smile, and I feel more and more restricted. So I'm a little bit nervous to see how I go over the next few days. And also, although it's not obvious to you guys, hopefully, my entire lower face is also being brought down by gravity more. So my jowls are brought down more than they usually are. My cheeks are hollowing out more than they usually do. And when I rest my face, it's like this. It's like the freaking blobfish. Like, I'm not doing a face. You can see my bottom teeth, and that's not my normal resting face. So, like, it will wear off, but by the time it wears off, because there's no way to dissolve it, Botox, it just wears off over time. But because other muscles compensate for the muscles that have been frozen by the Botox or relaxed by the Botox, when you get your other muscles back working again, there could have been changes to the face. Also, with this dragging down of my skin, I'm like afraid of it not going back up again, which there is corrective work for that, but obviously I don't want to have to do that. So yeah, it's been a pretty awful experience. This was me the first day. I thought it was absolutely hilarious and sent this video to the family.
Give us a big smile. It's, it's like turning down too.
It's as much as I can smile. It's like this for 6 months.
The next step was the realization of what has happened and that I'll be stuck like this. So then I spent 2 days like this in bed because I was so upset. So that's not ideal. And now I feel like I'm kind of almost processed it fully and I'm like coming to terms with it. It's okay. This is temporary. It can be fixed. But I will say, I never thought this would have such a psychological impact on me as it has. It was like being dumped. And even looking at myself in the camera, just this whole drawing down thing, even though you guys probably don't think it's that bad, I'm just like, oh my God. And you know, you always notice things more yourself than other people. Like, I just can't stand to look at myself at the moment. Like, I don't want to look in the mirror. I don't want to look at myself on camera. So I think my other videos, I will be filming without a face cam until I feel a bit better. And then I'm always constantly going like this because it feels weird and my mouth feels half numb. It's just an awful, awful feeling. But thank goodness there's no pain because I've heard other people this has happened to. They actually have pain as well. So yeah, I'm always going like this, trying to lift it up because I have the sensation of it pulling down. It's very miserable. So a lot of you guys have been saying, well, you need to sue them, sue this doctor. There's 2 things that are a problem with that. Actually, 3 things. 1, I signed a waiver. Before you get Botox in Australia, there's always a waiver you sign basically saying if anything goes wrong, you can't sue them. Because mistakes happen. They do happen. If you are going to do this, there are always going to be risks. And although I don't believe this is very common, I was the unlucky one. Like I said, I went to a certified place. I went to a GP, for goodness sakes. So that's the first thing. Second of all, to actually sue someone in Australia is really expensive. Like, you have to hire a lawyer, it takes time, like you're just gonna throw money down the drain, like and spend way more than what the procedure cost you. I know it's like cost me my psychological health this week or 2 weeks, and beyond that, and also affecting my work, but like that kind of money I wouldn't have anyway. 3, mistakes happen. I don't think this person went in wanting to mess up my face. Honestly, they probably feel mortified and bad about it if they're a decent person. So that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to destroy someone when we all do make mistakes. I'm never going back to them. I'll make that very clear, and I will never suggest anyone goes there, but I'm not going to destroy them financially or their business. See, I'm even pulling it up right now. Oh, I'm going to hate editing this video, you guys. I'm going to hate it so much. I spend every day looking at myself and editing myself on camera, so this is... Now, some of you guys might be wondering, okay, what did they say? Like, the place you got this done, what have they said to you? So like I said, we're up to day 7 today. I had it done last week, and I did call up the day after I realized this was happening. Oh God, I can't look at it. Just not gonna look there. That's my monitor. And they were like, this doctor's actually on holiday. He will be back next week and he would like you to come in. And I said, I do not want to come in. Please just give me a refund. So then they were like, okay, let us speak to him. So they spoke to him while he's on holiday. And then they got back to me and they're like, look, we're really sorry, but it's the protocol that we have that he has to see what's happened in order for you to get a refund. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go in. The reason why I don't want to go in is because I don't want to relive the trauma, you know, of going in. I don't want them like looking at my face, pointing out what's gone wrong. Like, I don't want to experience anything to do with this anymore. But my time's not going to be spent, you know, doing something that I don't want to do. No, I don't want to come in. All I just really want is a refund so I can then hopefully get something done somewhere else. Yeah, I can do Monday morning. I think my biggest fear is I'm going to go in, they're going to be like, oh, we don't know how this happened. And we're not, you know, mistakes happen. You signed a waiver. We can't give you a refund. Oh, and we also have to charge you for this appointment. That's my fear, but I'm hoping that it goes well. And what I would really love is them to say, sorry, we messed up, we missed the muscle, we feel terrible about this, it is not at all the experience we want people to have coming to our clinic. We will give you a refund and you will not be charged for today. That's what I would like from the appointment. So I'm gonna check back with you guys after I've been and let you know how it goes. Because today is Thursday and I'm going on Monday morning as soon as he is back. And I guess, you know, it's better that this guy wants to see me instead of doing the same thing, like, oh, I don't want to see her because I made a mistake and I don't want to own up to it. Like, I think that that's at least a good sign. As much as I hate the idea of going in, it probably is the right thing for them to do, like see me in person and see what's happened. Oh, look at the mouth turn. You know what? We need to make some thumbnail images of me with stank face to put on every video. That is funny. My biggest fear is my face is gonna be permanently pulled down afterwards. That's my fear. And it's not gonna go bing like it used to be. Anyway, I'm going to go to the doctor on Monday, like I said. We will see if it's any worse by then. Fingers crossed it doesn't get much worse and I can still talk normally and chew, but we're just gonna have to see. All right, you guys, welcome back to now week 3. At the 2-week mark, I went to see my doctor and I was really hoping it would go well. I had hoped that I'd get a refund and an apology. The good news is I did get a refund, yes, of my full $500. Actually, technically, if we're gonna be petty, I'd paid $507 and they gave me $500 back. Not exactly precise, but whatever. So I got that, which is good. And then I also did get a very cold, brief apology. So that's good. I did get what I wanted, but the process was not nice. This doctor did not deal with it well. And it was actually kind of crazy because I feel like he used every method he could to try and not take any accountability. And it makes me think this guy has done it before and probably gotten away with it. So luckily I took James to see him with me. It was really good having another person there to advocate for me and even just give me a bit of confidence because I really had to advocate for myself. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Before I tell you what actually happened in the consult room, how I'm feeling right now is I'm feeling a lot better about it because I'm kind of used to it now. I do still feel a dragging sensation, but it's not as bad. And I do believe I have full muscle power in my masseters still. I don't think there's been any difference to my clenching. Like I can still clench just as hard. So I think the masseters were completely missed. I still cannot smile. It's still like this, which is not, I've still got the stank face and it'll hopefully wear off in like 3 or 4 months and go back to normal. And then what's not really that obvious for other people, but I can tell because I know my face very well. I do have a different jowl shape here. It's slightly different. So it has been dragging this down and affecting my smile lines. So that's an insecurity for me, and I don't know if I will do face cam on videos like in the next few weeks or if I'll wait it out a bit longer until I start to be able to smile again. But yeah, I'll also see how you guys respond to this. But anyway, let's talk about the consult. So as I said, I had to go in and see him. I wasn't looking forward to it, but I was kind of hoping that maybe this was a really good thing, that he was going to take accountability and like say, I'm really sorry about this. This is not how we want our patients to walk away feeling. Unfortunately, there are risks and mistakes can happen, and I'm very sorry. But no, he tried to not take any responsibility for it. He basically tried to make me feel like I was crazy, thinking this wasn't the outcome that is normal. So yeah, I took James with me, which was great. And we went in and he said, oh, I've been told you think you've been botched, like as if I'm crazy to think that. And I was like, yeah, I emailed you pictures before and after. And he was like, yeah, and I've heard you've been to other practitioners or you probably Googled it yourself. And I really didn't like that he was obviously trying to belittle me or make me feel stupid. And I was like, yes, I did speak to another physician and they said that you mistakenly injected the wrong muscle. And he was like, okay, well, it's impossible to inject another muscle because there's no other muscles there. And I was like, what? Your whole face is muscle, all these different muscles. So I was like, okay, that makes no sense. Anyway, he then moved on and said, let me feel. So he felt here, didn't make any comment because he probably thought, okay, she can still bite fully. So he obviously knows he messed up, but he just ignored that. And then he started taking before and after photos. He took after photos because he already had before photos from the week before when I went in. But the thing is, he didn't take any smiling photos. So he compared my resting face with my new resting face, even though the big problem is my smile. And he's like, do you see any differences? Do you see anything different? I was like, I mean, a little bit, yeah. And he's like, where? Point it out. Like, he was so rude. And I was like, it's actually an issue when I'm smiling. Did you get the email I sent you? And he was like, then kind of trying to blame my dentist, I think. Because then he was like, well, are you grinding still at night? And I said, I don't know, because a lot of the time people don't know they tooth grind. Like, you'll have no idea until you go to the dentist and you've cracked a tooth. Unless you get like pain or headaches, a lot of people have no idea that they're doing it. And this is just like really common knowledge for dentists and doctors. So I said, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I'm still grinding. And he was like, yes, but your dentist said you were, didn't they? Yeah, because I cracked a tooth. So that was weird. And then he just moved on from that because I think he realized, okay, I'm not convincing her this way. And then he said, the thing is, depending on like a person's face shape, sometimes they don't get the result they want. And for you, it's not the smile you want, and that's okay. It didn't work out for you. And then he starts saying that he does this procedure on some of the girls that work for him. And he's like, I do 4 girls here at the clinic. 3 of them love the outcome. One of them, she kind of smiled like this and she didn't like it so much. So she just didn't get it again. And you know what? She's an influencer. She's got 56,000 followers on Instagram and started telling me about how she's an influencer. I'm like, why is this even relevant? And also it kind of sounds like you botched her too if she couldn't smile properly, to be honest. And yeah, he was just like, it just didn't work for you. I was like, no, I can't smile. It's downturned. This is not normal. And then he said, it's impossible for him to inject the wrong muscle, again, because there's no other muscles there. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I said, well, what about the smile muscle? And he says, it's impossible. So then James had to chime in. So James is going to help explain what he said. But you basically showed him like a picture of my smile, didn't you?
Dude was yapping for like 20 minutes. Hang on, let me come forward so I'm not blurry. Yeah, he was yapping about how, well, he was like, look, your face is fine, like after he took the photos. And I was like, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the smile and how you can't smile. He just kept going on and it was just like, dude, it's like, look, this is what a smile was. And he's like, okay, now smile. And then he was like, ah, okay.
So it wasn't until James
like, dude.
like said, like, look at this, that he stopped just rambling, which also kind of sucks because it makes it feel a little misogynistic as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, just only to listen to the guy and not the woman. So I also really didn't like that either. So yeah, then you were like, this is her smiling normally. And then what did he do? Then he got a picture up on his computer screen. And he had like a face with a diagram of all the muscles. And it didn't have the name of the muscles on there, but it had letters for each muscle. And he pointed to the masseter and he's like, well, this, you see, there's no other place you could inject. Like, this is the only muscle.
Wait, I want to see if I can find that picture or like something similar.
This was kind of similar to what he got up on his computer screen. And he's like, look, there's only one muscle. It's impossible to inject another muscle. And we're looking at it and we're like, there is a lot going on here. Like, there is more than one muscle.
Also, like, yeah, this is just showing very specific area of muscles. There's muscles. It was just weird the way he presented it. Like, because he was like, I'm the doctor, I know. So like, that's the only muscle. It's like, well, okay, that's first of all not true.
Yeah, like,
your face is like all muscle.
Exactly. And then I was like, oh, what about that muscle there? And he's like, what muscle? And I said, the rhizoras, which is the one that has
You're
R.
like, right there, the R. And
The
he's
R.
like, oh, I've not heard of that one before. No, he didn't say that. But like, dude.
And which is literally next to the masseter muscle. And I was like, do you think you injected that one? And I think he then kind of felt like he wasn't getting away with it anymore. So he then said, well, if I had made that mistake, then you would look like this. And he did this to his face.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, but you did it on both sides, dude. You didn't do it on one side.
Yeah, we're like, well, you did it on both sides.
Look at the smile. Like, clearly it's not right. Like, I could understand if it was the masseter and, your smile was a little bit different. But, like, this is just,
This is stank face.
This is like you've got the wrong muscle, like 100%.
And I've spoken to multiple people now about this.
Yeah, like other physicians and doctors
and they
know.
all say the same thing. It's the wrong muscle.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I teach this.
You
And
shouldn't.
we're like, well, maybe you shouldn't.
I wish we said that to him, but we just kind of wanted the refund and to get out of there. Well, that's all we could get, really.
Yeah, basically we said, well, maybe it's on both sides. And then at this point, I couldn't hold the tears in any longer. I was getting pretty upset.
Well, he was still, like, even with that, just being defensive and being like, no, I would have made, you'd be like this.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, just all you have to do is just admit I don't think he ever admitted. He apologized, but I don't think he ever really, he never admitted he did it wrong.
He said mistakes can happen.
Yeah, but he didn't, that's not admission.
But that was the closest.
He never said, I've made a mistake, or I'm so sorry that it went wrong. He never admitted it.
Yeah.
At all.
And then, so then I started crying and I was like, I can't work. Like, I'm on camera and I feel like I can't go on camera now. And I think he asked what I did for work because he didn't know at that point.
I think he said I'm on camera. I've got like 1 million followers or something.
Oh, yeah. I said I'm on camera. I've got 1 million followers because I was like, I might as well say that because he was talking about his influencer
yeah, well, he brought it up.
for some reason.
It's not something that you tell people. I mean, that's obviously you told him as a last resort. Like, you don't go in there and
It's
say,
a last resort. Yeah, I don't say that usually because who cares anyway? And then he suddenly freaked out, I think.
He was like putting on a front. You could tell he was internally like freaking out. Like, oh no.
He really freaked out after I said that, which I really didn't think he would, but he did. And then
It was really quite rude as well.
He basically kicked us out.
He was like, sorry, okay, you'll get a refund, please leave.
Yes, he said that. He was like you'll get a refund,
that quickly as
please
well.
leave. And then he just ushered us out.
Yeah.
Like, he was really...
And to be honest, I mean, I was happy to go. I was like, okay, we'll get a refund, great.
Yeah. And
never come back.
And that was that. Oh, and he also said, send me a photo in 2 weeks and what it looks like. I'll just keep sending you pictures of it looking exactly the same.
Yeah, you did it wrong, dude. Like, just admit it.
I'm happy I got a refund.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that I brought you with me and that you came, so thank you.
I think you could have done it, but it just would have been it would have been a lot harder and more emotionally draining to do it yourself, I think.
Yeah, and I think one of the worst parts of it is that I even had to mention what I do for work to get a refund. Like, what happens if I had just a different job? Like,
I hate that when companies, like, not just like
that's
this kind of situation,
horrible.
but like in any situation where something goes wrong, like and we have to mention, it's like, oh, do YouTube. It's like, that's when it's like the company was not going to do anything unless you tell them, which is bad. They're, because
it should have nothing to do with it.
It shouldn't matter. He did it wrong. You should get a refund. Like, that's all you wanted, really, is just the money back at least. Because, like, dude, you did it wrong. Just refund it. It's not that serious.
The whole reason why he told us we had to come in was because for their insurance policy or something to give a refund. But then they didn't refund the correct amount anyway, which was also a bit weird. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, I understand, like, having to go in, though, because it's like, I guess if you had, because you were relatively new at that clinic, I guess you could, in theory, be making something up.
Yeah,
not that you were, but I
thought it was going to be a helpful protocol, which I guess it was, but
also, then it was
crazy.
really unprofessional as well at the same time when we were in there. Just him himself, and then also the refund process was super weird. They're like, was it 500? And you're like, yeah, I think so.
You should
like,
probably have checked before.
How do you not just look it up on your system? Like, dude.
I was just like, whatever. Keep the extra $6.50
$7,
or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so I guess the lesson from this story is that it's really important to advocate for yourself. Even if there's a doctor who is meant to look after you and you are meant to be able to trust them and believe everything they say, sometimes, unfortunately, that's not the case. So always get a second opinion or a third opinion and just know in your gut what makes sense.
Yeah. Also, what I don't get is like, yeah, he made a mistake. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's not that serious of a mistake because it's going to wear off. So I don't understand why he couldn't just be like, oh, yes, it's gone wrong. I'm so sorry. We'll refund that. Like, that's all it had to be. It didn't have to be this serious, dude. Like,
I'm sure
it's not that hard. Like, everyone makes mistakes. You can admit you've made a mistake. It's not that great. It's like you signed a waiver as well anyway, so it's not like you can then turn around and whatever, do anything bad.
Yeah, you literally sign a waiver before the Botox treatment that basically says there are risks always, like,
Yeah.
and that's true. So yeah, I would have happily been like, oh, thanks for the apology, and felt really good if he just admitted it, but
No,
Yeah.
arrogant, egotistical, thinks he's better than everyone, smarter. But it was funny seeing him be like a little weasel when you're like, yeah, I'm an influencer, I got 1 million followers. And he was like,
I thought that was the most bizarre thing he even cared. So,
I know, it's like, dude,
anyway,
you only
so-
said that because he wasn't listening to you. Like, I'm on camera, I can't work, and he wasn't listening to that. It doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers. Or like, who knows what you're doing on camera? You know, like
Yeah.
the fact that you said that's when he should listen, not how many or whatever it is. It's just
Yeah,
so bad.
so it was pretty bad. And I must say, this guy was very charming before, and I really liked him. So you gotta be careful, you never know.
I never saw him before, but I think the moment we walked in that day, he was giving me weasel vibes. But that could have been just because he was already on defense.
Oh,
you know?
he was so charming when I first went in. Like, he seemed so lovely, but
That's how he gets you.
that's how they get you. So, yeah, we will get through this. It is a bit funny in many ways. You keep making stink faces.
Oh, I'm just
not
smiling.
in a mean way. He does it in a funny way.
That's how I smile.
So maybe we should take our Christmas family card now, so it's ready. But yeah, that's basically the story. So just be careful, folks, and always stand up for yourself. And I guess subscribe if you haven't already for more vlogs.
Kitchen renovation vlogs should hopefully be starting soon.
Yeah, we've got the kitchen renovation hopefully soon.
I think the first vlog we'll do will be because we've got pretty much all the appliances, so we gotta open and check
exciting.
them, make sure there's nothing wrong. So we'll probably do that first. Have a look at what we've got.
And then we'll check it all to make sure nothing's like smashed in transit. So they're all in one piece. And then, oh my gosh, then it's going to happen and it's going to be crazy. We've never done a big renovation before.
It's gonna be rough.
It's going to be so stressful. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on in.
Thanks. I'm being kicked out so you can sign off.
Please leave. You'll get a refund.
I'm going.
Anyway, guys, have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're on the world. And I can't wait to speak to y'all soon. Duck, duck.